Oh, political statements at the Grammys. Can you believe it? Political statements at the Grammys. I didn't even know that the music award show was on last night until my wife said, well, there's nothing but the Grammys on tonight and I'm not interested, so I'm going to bed. But she missed all the fun. What's the fun? People getting married, including same-sex couples, in a big political statement. Here's Queen Latifah performing the wedding.
As I look out on this audience, I'm delighted to see the faces of 33 couples who've chosen this moment to celebrate their vows with us here in Los Angeles, together with the music of love. Will you please exchange rings? By the power vested in me by the state of California, I now pronounce you a married couple!
I'm not even sure what that was all about, but let's ask our resident Hollywood expert, Ben Shapiro. Ben, it seemed like a bad script idea that someone pitched for The Love Boat 30 years ago. What was that?
Well, it's a lot of self-righteousness out of Hollywood, which is what they do best. And honestly, I'm not sure how this is exactly good for the gay marriage movement. The same-sex marriage movement, is based on the idea that it's about individuals who are in love with one another wanting to get married. This was about mass marrying a bunch of couples by Queen Latifah after a bad rap song, followed by twice-divorced Madonna warbling about love. I mean, I'm not sure how that exactly forwards the aspirations of gay couples in the United States.
Neither am I, and I'm still struggling to figure out how this got into the Grammys. I mean, it used to be about music. I haven't watched in a long time. Occasionally, I'll watch the Golden Globes or the Oscars. You don't see things like that happening then. Are ratings so bad that they're looking for relevancy, or is this just a decision to be so openly political?
Well, I think it's both. I mean, I think that they have a drive to be openly political. One of the great lies about Hollywood is that it is purely profit-driven. The truth is that most of the people who get into Hollywood do so for the kind of artistic fulfillment of it all, and that's certainly true with regard to the Grammys. Now, with regard to, are they attempting to garner ratings? Of course they are. They have to outcompete the Video Music Awards on MTV, which, they're basically head-to-head with all the time. And that means they sort of have to outshock people. So that's why this wasn't the only controversial moment at the Grammys. It was the most controversial moment, but you also had Katy Perry dancing around doing a Satanism ritual. You had Beyonce and Jay-Z basically having sex on stage. I mean, there was a lot going on at the Grammys. Not much of it had to do with the actual music that was being sung.
Which is probably a good thing. I kept hearing people talk about some of the ones that are up there that were up for nominations, and I'm just showing my age by saying I don't have a clue who you're talking about.
Oh, well, not only do I not have a clue you're talking about, I think that if you listen to Daft Punk, who won Album of the Year, Daft Punk, their new song, it sounds like Staying Alive. I mean, it's just basically a ripoff from 1970s funk, which is fine, but to proclaim it some sort of new move in music just shows.
Is this the one about staying up all night to get lucky?
Yes.
Okay, this is the one that I keep wanting to yell back at the speakers when I hear it in stores. You're doing something wrong if that's what it takes.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think what people on the left need to understand is that if they actually would like to get lucky, probably the best solution for that is to get married. There's a much greater chance of you getting lucky once you're married than if you're hanging around all night listening to Daft Punk.
So is there fallout from this for CBS? I mean, you've mocked me before for watching shows on CBS that this is a network that nobody under 50 ever sees. Are the trades talking about it today? Is this an issue? Is there blowback?
No, I mean, I haven't seen a ton of blowback yet. I think that most people, honestly, were just kind of blasé about it. I know when I saw it this morning, typically I would be shocked by this sort of stuff, but I'm so done being shocked. It just goes to show you how the left wants to stick it to people on the right. I mean, it used to be that the way that they would shock America is they'd have two women making out, like Madonna and Britney Spears did 10 years ago on MTV. Now it's they have a bunch of couples who you don't care about and have never seen before getting married on TV. And by the way, the idea that this is a great manifestation of their love, getting married on the Grammys, there's only two reasons to get married on the Grammys. One is that you want to make a political statement, and the other is that you want a good deal of attention and that you're an attention hog. Neither one of those is a very good reason to get married.
And the little chapel in Vegas was booked. You couldn't get in.
Exactly.
Macklemore, though, I mean, we played part of his statement as he started his rap, but he also took on people on the right. He was attacking right-wing Republicans as he was allegedly rapping.
And his song does that all the time. His song, actually, the original lyrics talk about right-wing conservatives who hate gay people. And this is, look, let's be real about Macklemore and the rest of this crew. Yes, I'm sure they believe this stuff, but they also exploit homosexuality on a regular basis for ratings. I mean, Katy Perry, who made herself into a star because she wasn't a success as a church singer, and then she kissed a girl, liked it, and became famous. So this is virtually every major female star of the last 10 years has basically pretended to be bisexual in order to gain a fair bit of attention. You know, Macklemore doing this, yes, it wins him a lot of kudos. That's not a very good song, okay? If this were not a song about gay marriage, nobody would have ever listened to it. The only reason anybody listens to it is because he purposefully created a certain amount of controversy and exploited the same-sex marriage issue, which, of course, advocates of same-sex marriage are happy to have exploited so long as they get it into the pop culture consciousness.
We first started talking when you had your book out, Primetime Propaganda, about how Hollywood elites push their political agenda into your television screen. Do you ever tire of finding out that you're right?
You know, I wish I were wrong. I mean, honestly, I do. At this point, it would be really nice if I were wrong and they were solely profit-driven, but I strain to see where the profit for the network is in slamming half the country all the time. I mean, the fact is that 2 years ago, the Grammys had 40 million viewers after Whitney Houston died. Last night, they had 28 million viewers. I mean, that's a pretty significant decline. They had 28 million last year. They're not growing their audience by doing this sort of stuff.
And you know what? I'd like it to just be about songs, and I'd like songs to entertain me or television to entertain me. Maybe that's just a quaint idea.
It is. I think that at this point, the only thing that folks in Hollywood find entertaining is politics, sex, or both.
All right. Ben, good talking as always. Chat soon.
You too.